welcome back to the Rex Pearson Level 2 Beginner Guitar course. I hope you've been following me on rexpearson.com and I hope you've been enjoying the course so far. Alright, this is one that I get a lot of requests for, strumming patterns. It's something that a lot of people have some trouble with because they're not sure when or how to go about strumming correctly. Before I teach you some strumming patterns, there's a couple of little rules that I want to let you guys in on. The first being about the timing of down and up strokes. Some people don't know when to play a downstroke and when to play an upstroke on the strumming patterns. Sometimes people go just purely by feel, which is good, but it can change from time to time depending on how they feel at a given moment. It's good to get used to a certain way of strumming. What I would like you guys following the course to do, the general rule is when you have a down beat, as in when the tick happens on a metronome or where the pulse is in the music, that is where you naturally do a down stroke. Whenever you have an up beat that you need to do a strum, you do the opposite, you do an upstroke. So in between the ticks of a metronome, there's a space in between, and in that space, if there is a strum that you would need to do, you do it with an upstroke. The other rule is you generally try to do, just like alternate picking, alternate strumming. So generally you do a down followed by an up, unless, as you'll see in a bit, there are things that prevent that. So let me just clarify that then. If we had a tick, and I'll activate a metronome here, if we had a tick going at 60 beats per minute and I was to strum down beats, it would sound like this, all down strokes. If I was to play on the upbeats, I would do upstrokes to accent the upbeat. So there's a tick, then up, tick, up, tick, up, tick, up, tick, up. So I shall demonstrate the upstroke. So you see I'm playing in the gap, let me shut up that metronome. I'm playing in the gap of the tick there. And that's the rule you want to get into. When you hear a tick, it's a downstroke, and when not, it's an upstroke. There are some exceptions to that, and I'll deal with them as they crop up. And if you do have any questions about it, just head over to the forums on rexpearson.com, if you're a member, which is totally free, and then just put up a question up there. Okay, the other thing I want to talk to you about is how you hold this plectrum. Now, you might recall, if you've been following the course from the very beginning, the Guitar 101 course, I talked to you about how to hold the pick correctly. You will need to make sure, if you're doing a lot of strumming, that more of the pick, the tip of the pick, is actually showing, so that you can glide across the strings, and there's some flexibility there for the pick to move around as you're doing the strumming. Whereas if you're doing more lead sort of style of playing single notes, you have a lot less of the plectrum showing. Make sure you're doing full strums on down and up when we do these strumming patterns. Don't just play a big downstroke and then a tiny up, where you only hit maybe one or two strings. Should be full strums, down followed by up. You want to hear the whole guitar, all the strings. Okay, we're going to cover a couple of strumming patterns. I'm going to talk to you about the timing of them as well. I want you to do this with a metronome if you can, because it gets you used to strumming to a pulse and keeping yourself in time. Now I'm going to have a metronome here that's going to be set at about 60 beats per minute, but you can increase the speed as you get better at these strumming patterns. So the first one is going to be using only what we call quarter notes, which are ones that are on the downbeat, and then also eighth notes, which are the slightly quicker ones, where you can get two of them per beat. You're going to have a down on the first beat, which is going to last a beat, it's a quarter note. Then you're going to have two eighth notes, so a down followed by an up on the second beat. When the third beat lands, it's going to be a pause, because the note that you've played on the upstroke on the second beat is going to last for longer than half a beat. So you miss the third beat and you play on the up of the third beat and then finally down. My description of that is way more complicated than what it actually is. If you have a listen to it, you'll see what I mean about it. Let me activate the metronome then. Okay, so we've got a metronome going at 60 beats per minute. Now I'm going to play down, down, up on the second, up on on the third, and then down on the fourth. Here we go. Down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, so that gives you an idea. That gives you an idea of what that metronome and how it sort of works together. You can see that I did a down on the downbeat of beat 1. When we had a down up, I did a down up because we had it on the beat and on the upbeat of beat 2. So it was 1, 2, and. On beat 3, there was a pause, and then on the up of beat 3 was the next strum, and then you had a down on beat 4. So the full strumming pattern was down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Okay, strumming pattern 1 for you there. Strumming pattern 2 is going to introduce a new type of note in terms of the length. It's getting even shorter. You see we've had strums that last for a whole beat. We've got strums that last for only half a beat. Now I'm going to introduce you this one where you're going to be able to fit in 4 strums per beat. So it's quite a fast one. You're going to have down, up within the space of 1 tick. All downstrokes on the first 3 beats, and they're all quarter note beats. So they just last for 1 beat. So you'll have 1, 2, 3. On the 4th beat, that's where you get your 4 16th notes, they're called. Down, up, and then you're ready to start again. So I'll activate my metronome at 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the strumming pattern. 3 downstrokes followed by down, up. Now when you're practicing these strumming patterns, the first most important point is to get it so that you can play it in time to a metronome. If you're having real trouble keeping in time to a tick, take the metronome out and start tapping your foot and keeping a time with the foot. So on that strumming pattern, you've got 3 taps where you're going to be in time with your foot. 1, 2, 3. Then on the 4th tap, that's where you're going to get 4 strums. Try not to rush it. Try not to go 4 strums and then try and land on the 1. And again, try not to be too slow. Each strum should have the same amount of time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It shouldn't be like that. It should be down, up, down, dun, 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 dun. So it's all evenly spaced. That's quite an important point. And if you can, whilst doing all that, try and remember to do full strums on the guitar, both down and up strokes, then you're doing really good. And if you're having trouble with this, don't worry, just slow a tempo down, take the metronome out of the equation, and just focus on getting your foot tapping in time, and just listen to the strumming patterns, rewind the video and listen to how I played it and try playing along to it as well. There's lots of different things you can try. Some will work for others. You know, people learn things differently. Some by ear, some by metronome, some by what I'm saying. So that's 2 strumming patterns. The next strumming pattern is going to combine quarter notes and 1/8 notes. First 2 beats are just quarter note beats, down, down, and then the last 2 beats are down, up. So they're 1/8 notes because we've got 2 in a beat. So I activate my metronome. 2, 3, 4, and the strumming pattern coming up now. Okay, that is a chord. Now you can see I'm just working on 1 chord with the left hand. Try not to do, when you're practicing strumming patterns, try not to do changes of chords yet. You can bring these strumming patterns into the songs you already know. You don't need to practice them now because you'll be thinking about too many things at once. just focus on your right hand technique for your strumming. Okay, so that's strumming pattern number 3, down, 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 up, down, up. Now I'm going to teach you one more which combines all 3 note types, quarter notes, eighth notes, and then the 16th notes where we get the 4 within a beat. First 2 beats are just downs. The third beat has got a down followed by an up on the up beat, so it's a down and an up stroke. And then the final one is down, up within the space of 1 tick. So I'll activate the metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and have a listen. So there we go. That's the 4th strumming pattern. Now each of those strumming patterns are what I would like you guys to practice, because all of these on their own at that sort of tempo they sound alright, but the real fun comes in when they actually speed up a little bit. You get a lot better strumming sound. For example, if I play the last one at a slightly faster tempo, it sounds pretty good. Then, when you incorporate these into the songs we've already covered, for example, if you've been following the beginner guitar course, you'll know this song, which is the Chasing Cars. So what I'm saying is, guys, once you've got the strumming patterns there, don't let that be enough for you. Use them on the songs that we've covered in the previous course. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson on strumming patterns. You've got 4 new strumming patterns that you can use on any song that you learn. It's just a case of simply playing that strumming pattern and just knowing that each one of those patterns we covered was 4 beats in length. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next part where we're going to be looking at one of the final points of the level 2 course, which is the power chord. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about that, how it works and how to play it properly. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next part on the power chord.